Hello, my name is Kristina McIntyre, and this is my reading comprehension presentation. Dr. Kathleen Shahan is the instructor. I first want to start off by asking the question, what is reading comprehension? Reading comprehension is the ability for a student or a person in general, is the ability for them to read and understand text, any type of text. The simple view of reading. This is a formula that was derived by Go and Turner. It simply says that there are two basic components to reading, one being decoding and the other being language comprehension. And decoding is basically explicit word recognition. A student is able to look at a word and say the word and know what the word is. And language comprehension basically means to be able to look at a word and derive the meaning from the word. And all those things are multiplied together. They're not added, they're multiplied, and the simple view of reading basically states that those two things multiplied together gives you a score of a student's reading comprehension. Let's go on to the next. Scarborough's reading rope basically takes language comprehension and word recognition or decoding and says that and breaks each of those components down even more, so we could see what language comprehension is. As you can see, language comprehension, includes that of background knowledge, vocabulary, language structures, verbal reasoning, and literacy knowledge. And when you intertwine those strands together, they become increasingly strategic. And then there's the lower part of the rope, which is word recognition or decoding, which simply includes that of phonological awareness, being able to break words down and know the syllables and the sounds that they make, the phonemes. Decoding, that includes alphabetic principle and spelling and sound correspondences, and sight recognition of the familiar words that we see every day. When you intertwine those strands are intertwined and tightly closed together, they become increasingly automatic. And then towards the end of the rope down here, as you can see, it's kind of tighter. It's where you have the skilled reading, and that's when fluent execution and coordination of word recognition and text comprehension. All these language comprehension and word recognition, all these components intertwined together, the tighter it gets, the more increasingly strategic a reader becomes and automatic with their word recognition. And at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we are building fluent readers at the end of the day. I just want to take a few minutes to discuss reading comprehension, the components of reading comprehension that our book, Understanding Teaching Reading Comprehension, that our text discuss. Comprehension monitoring, text structure, grammar and cohesive ties, vocabulary and background knowledge, inferencing. All these were mentioned in our text, and I'm just going to click over to my graphic organizer. Just a second. While it's loading, I just want to mention that comprehension monitoring is where we want all our students to start off. We want them to be able to look at a text, and we want them to be able to reflect on his or her own understanding. If they come across a text that they don't necessarily know what it's about, or they're unfamiliar with words, we want them to be able to stop what they're doing and think about what it is that the text is asking or what the text is about. So we want all our students to start here, or not necessarily start here, but we want them to be here at some point, so that we know that they are reflecting on what they understand. And as you can see, that all these different components of reading, they are intercorrelated. If a student does not have one of these, like if they don't understand text structure, then they won't be able to infer. If they don't know how to infer, then they won't necessarily know the text structure. All these are intercorrelated, and they tie in together. Each one of the components are needed in order to fully comprehend what is read. Once a student learns to read, it is important that they know or continue to read on their own and taught explicitly. That's where we come in as teachers, as educators, because we have to teach reading, decoding, text structure. We have to teach all this explicitly in order for a student to fully comprehend what is read. Once a student has gained vocabulary and background knowledge, they can infer. If a student knows text structures, then they can use their background knowledge and inferencing skills. Like I said earlier, all these components are intercorrelated and are necessary for reading comprehension. Okay, so go back to my PowerPoint. This actually concludes my PowerPoint. These are the sources that I used in this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you. That's it.